a warning?
There's nothing to worry about.
I'm worried that you work in an office, have children, celebrate wedding anniversaries. The world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
Her world, sensual, dazzling. His world, dangerous, violent. Drawn by a mystery, their lives converge. Faye Dunaway, Tommy Lee Jones, Eyes of Laura Mars. A thrilling vision of romance and terror. Rated R.
Welcome back to the show, listeners.
Welcome back.
Scott,
Yes.
this soundtrack.
Oh, I'm excited to talk about this movie.
I this is a fresh one for the two of us, but I think we were on the edge of our seats the entire
I was
time.
gagged by the ending of this movie, by the way.
Yeah, we were both pretty gagged. So this is going to be fun. We're in it all the way. So listeners, get ready. My name is Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay. A very good friend of the podcast, Garrett Mitchell, welcome back.
Garrett, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Let's all chant.
Let's all chant, truly. Mm-hmm. It's been in my head the whole day.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of that song.
It's a good one. Mm-hmm. It's a banger.
Well, we don't have you today to talk about America's Next Top Model, but we have you over for the Eyes of Laura Mars conversation. I'm trying not to say the Eyes of Laura Mars because it is called Eyes of Laura Mars.
Yes, it is. Get it right.
Get it right.
They
pay
say
the price.
eyes approximately 300 times throughout this film.
The original title of the movie, of the screenplay, was just Eyes. John Carpenter's Eyes. I love it. But now it's Eyes of Laura Mars. Put some respect on the name. John Carpenter's, how much of his
story
script
credit, and
I
I think that he did a first pass of the script and it was rewritten.
Yeah.
Because it has the and
in
the written by.
Yes, indeed. All right, well, let's get some paperwork out of the way and we'll get started.
Eyes of Laura Mars, directed by Irvin Kershner. Story by John Carpenter. Written by John Carpenter and David Zella Goodman. Produced by Jon Peters. Released August 2nd, 1978. This is our second Irvin Kershner movie of the week. We just watched Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, we did Irvin Kershner. Not quite the auteur, maybe a little director for hire kind of a situation.
Notably directed an unofficial James Bond movie, Never Say Never Again, in 1983.
Sure. That's the one with Sean Connery.
Yep.
And Kim Basinger.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't
Klaus
seen that.
Maria Brandauer.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This, like I said at the top, Scott and I had not seen Eyes of Laura Mars.
It's always been on the list of movies that I need to get to. That's why I wanted to talk about it on the podcast.
Right. Yeah, and for me, it was always just like famous movie poster, famous like noir, 70s noir movie poster, Eyes of Laura Mars. Just that.
It's kind of
those Faye Dunaway cheekbones.
It's the cross section of movie that only exists as a title and movie that only exists as a movie poster.
A VHS tape, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a poster of it hanging in my bedroom. Yeah. I love to look at my wall in the dark of my bedroom at night and see Faye Dunaway's startling eyes staring right back at me from my bed.
Faye Dunaway, striking-looking woman, very kind of
very angular oval-looking
features.
face.
The planes of her face
very
are very
striking.
Almost like a real live like Patrick Nagel woman. But something about her in this movie just was like we'll get into it for sure. But she was giving me I was immediately just seeing Mia Goth.
What was she styled as that gave you Mia Goth?
Okay, so it was the her opening the party. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The little like the updo and the
Billie Holiday-esque illusion with a white flower plopped into this chignon.
Yes, it was a chignon for sure.
And this almost vampiric black gown.
Yes. Yeah. The look was very like I can't even think of the period, but it's very like a period look for her. But yeah, I don't know. I was definitely getting shades of Mia in that particular outfit. But
I could see Mia Goth stepping into the shoes of Laura Mars.
Oh, absolutely.
If you were going to remake this movie.
Absolutely.
If you were dare to remake this movie.
But
It would be hyper pop instead of disco infused.
there you go. Yeah. I mean, or they would just set it in the 70s, a la, the other remake she was in.
What other remake?
Suspiria?
Suspiria,
Yes,
sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, Garrett, why don't you take us back to your history with this movie? We'll talk about our thoughts on it.
Okay. Back in high school, so this is around, I was a senior in high school, I believe. So around 2011, 2012, I had kind of fallen into my addiction for Faye Dunaway, beginning with Bonnie and Clyde. I then felt compelled to watch literally everything this woman has been in. I am still on this journey. I believe I've watched 60 of her films, according to Letterboxd.
Wow.
And Eyes of Laura Mars immediately stood out to me, from the poster alone, and also as a fan of the 70s and fashion, as we've discussed on previous episodes, a top model obsessive at that point. And this really was the center of the Venn diagram of all of my interests at that time. It had disco, it had glamour, it had Faye Dunaway's cheekbones, it had Faye Dunaway's bulging eyeballs.
Yeah.
It had Casey and the Sunshine Band. It just opened a world to the grittiness of 1970s New York underneath the false glamour of disco at the time. And I was always interested in Helmut Newton, who had some photographs featured in this work. And it just really transported me. And I was familiar with Tommy Lee Jones, his earlier work from only the Charlie's Angels pilot, which is set in like the bayou or something.
What?
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so it didn't throw me for a loop to see a young Tommy Lee Jones, because I had seen him romance Jacqueline Smith before. But, I thought somebody would at least tell him to shave his unibrow, but I guess that adds to the character.
It was a different time. In the 70s, in the late 70s, you could have a unibrow, you could have messed up teeth, and you could be a movie star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
We should go back to those times.
Yeah,
let's
please.
be honest.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Nobody's looking.
How does somebody like Tommy Lee Jones even decide to become an actor?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem
Didn't
the
he play
type.
football for Harvard? Didn't
Yes,
he?
and
Wasn't he
apparently
roommates
Irvin-
with Al Gore?
Oh, I'm not sure about
Yeah, I
that.
think they were college roommates.
That
yeah.
sounds right. Yeah.
Apparently, Irvin Kershner said that Tommy Lee Jones was the fastest runner he'd ever captured on film. Second was Sean Connery.
When he's in that foot chase with good old
Brad Dourif.
He is running like the T-1000. It is crazy. I noticed that. I was like, holy shit, Tommy Lee Jones is fucking booking it across these grimy ass New York streets. We definitely noticed that this like New York of time gone by is
Garbage everywhere. I love it.
so gross.
Everything is brown. Everything is brown in this movie. Even the luxurious apartment where Laura Mars resides is cocooned in this earthly hue. And then you're out on the streets and everything is just covered in soot.
There's puddles everywhere. No hint of rain in the sky.
No.
And it's not like they watered down the street a la,
Well, that's an old Hollywood trick.
right. It's not like they're out there like hosing down the street to make it look better on camera. Oh, no. It's just potholes full of muck in the streets of Manhattan. And hey,
You get those
we love
really
it.
cool shots of the bridge that I only know from The French Connection. It's like that big bridge going into. I mean, I take it's Manhattan. It's like that's where the big car chase in the French Connection was.
Oh, that you drive underneath the elevated subway train. Yeah. That's very iconic New York. Okay, so you go way back with Faye.
I do, and this movie has kind of become a calling card to see who can really hang. If you know Eyes of Laura Mars, then let's get a drink somewhere.
It's a good litmus test.
Well, I feel like this movie's big cult following didn't really happen until the past decade. Does anybody remember the weird movie from the 70s Faye Dunaway made where she can see through the eyes of a serial killer? I think that, it kind of got its big cachet within like the past decade.
Yes, especially because, Mommy Dearest is just something that is the cliff notes that you would go to for, I want to learn about Faye Dunaway. But reciting Laura Mars a decade ago felt like you were so niche. Now it's on Blu-ray. It's very accessible now. I think I got it in a 3-pack of DVDs initially with Bob and Ted and Carol and Alice or something.
Oh, wow.
And Shampoo, who is linked to the Warren Beatty character is linked to the producer of this film.
I was going to say, we have to have the Jon Peters conversation. So I didn't know Jon Peters directed this movie.
Well,
and you
produced the movie.
I didn't know Jon Peters produced this movie. And in the opening titles, it hits you with produced by Jon Peters. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. Jon Peters would be up in this movie somewhere.
He and Faye apparently discussed the hair was essential in this film, so much so that they decided to dye Faye's hair red. It's more of an auburn, I'd say.
Yeah, it is more of an auburn, yeah. I mean, Jon Peters, famous hairdresser to the stars, turned high-powered
movie mogul
producer. Yeah. How did that work?
Dating Barbra Streisand at the time and bought the screenplay as a vehicle for her. Barbra declined, saying the kinky nature of the story did not fit her, and she elected to do the theme instead.
He apparently also introduced the fashion element to the film.
Okay.
Just coming from the world of glamour and hair.
Sure.
And apparently John Carpenter's original outline for Eyes, within his climax, Laura is still seeing through the eyes of the killer, and she has to navigate as they're swiping at her actively. And I don't know how that would have been possible to shoot.
Yeah, it's a little video gamey. I mean, I could see that something like that happening in a Portal type of like a video game, but yeah,
I think in the early days of Steadicam,
using the 70s like movie making magic at hand, it might have been a little clunky to do something that ambitious. But
there's a lot of handheld, it feels like, in these visions, and then it goes to these. There's a lot of medium shots, and the only time that you really see close-up shots are when Faye is struck by these horrible visions of what's happening, or there's an admission at the end of the movie by the killer.
I do appreciate that there's no explanation. There's no rhyme or reason. She wasn't struck by lightning, hit in the head, old family of witches. Like, it's just, boom, who cares? She has these visions.
As a proud owner of the novelization, within page 7, it kind of explains how she had childhood visions that connected her to a little boy who was being abused and who was crying out for help. And she would ask her grandmother, how can we help him? And they appeared as dreams to her.
Okay.
And it wasn't until years later that they become these paralyzing visions. So that may have been something that was originally in there, and we just aren't aware of it because we don't have the original script, or it was just something that was cut entirely from the script, or it's just a flourish from the novelization from H.B. Gilmore, who wrote the Clueless series.
Oh,
of
geez. Wow.
So,
wow.
I love that.
Yeah. Come on, Diva.
So, like I mentioned, Scott and I, this was our first watch. We were riveted. And I'm here to say that I feel like this movie is very much in the same vein as, you know, a Brian De Palma classic, such as
Dressed to Kill.
Dressed to Kill, right? I found it way more watchable, way more compelling. I feel like with the Brian De Palma movies, Letterboxd Bros, sometimes I feel like they're a little bit of a chore, right? They do feel a little slow. I felt like this was just like, okay, this is great. We're in.
It drops you in.
Hour and what is it? Hour and 39 minutes. It's under an hour 40. It's
Yeah,
like an
I
hour
think
35.
it's an hour and 40.
Yeah, something like that. So it drops you right
You
in.
get the visions in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. So I felt upon first watch very compelling, very easy watch, riveted, and would definitely rewatch. And feel like had I stumbled upon this as a younger person, would have been obsessed. You know, Faye's just kind of killing it. Young Tommy Lee Jones.
It's a choice. I'm into it, though.
Yeah. But this is what I'm telling Scott as we're watching it last night. You know, sometimes there's that thing when you see an actor who you know as a older gentleman, right? When you see them in their youth, you're just like, wow, look how handsome they were. And I'm like, is that just because they're younger and I'm just like thinking they're handsome? I did not think that about Tommy Lee Jones.
No. He's grown into a sophisticated looking man.
Yeah.
Here he's rather brutish.
Yeah.
And I forget what Judi Dench called Daniel Craig in Casino. A blunt instrument is what he is.
Yeah. But Brad Dourif, old Crazy Eyes.
I think Brad Dourif's kind of cute.
Old Crazy Eyes. I was here for it. I was like, you better work.
I'm
with
into
the
it.
hair and, yeah.
Underrated hottie.
Yeah.
He's very unkempt.
Yes.
He would easily have been cast in Girls at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
As some like negligible roommate of one of the characters, but him and Raul Julia, who pops up, craziest eyes imaginable on everybody
The
in
two
this
of them.
movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, and with Faye, we got a lot of shifty eyes in this one. Well, we'll also mention really quickly before Scott can get to his takes on it. We got a Star Trek drop. René Auberjonois as Donald. Laura's ostensibly homosexual
We get some
friend.
fun queer representation in this movie. I'm into it.
Yes. And he's never portrayed as being sort of just the butt of the joke due to his homosexuality.
Yeah.
He does have to get in drag as subterfuge for Laura to escape. But he is a bit bitchy.
Yeah.
He has some jokes. And apparently Irvin Kershner himself said, I didn't want any fag jokes in this movie. I heard on the commentary today.
Oh, I love that. We were appreciating his Betty White blowout.
Yeah,
hair.
it's quite the hair.
On Renee is crazy.
But just feathered and blown out.
But one of the gays at his birthday party, like, kind of gives him hell for it. It's like, don't catch that wig on fire.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
I
dead.
want to talk about the birthday party later.
Oh my God, we're gonna talk about the birthday party. But yeah, loving that character. Yeah, great. Scott, what are your initial thoughts on this movie?
I thought this movie was captivating. I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we added it to our ragtag collection on
Our Amazon Prime movies.
Amazon Prime movies. When you go through our Amazon Prime movies, it's like Little Darlings.
They're crazy. Yeah.
Now the Eyes of Laura Mars.
Yeah.
What else do we have there?
Steel Magnolias.
Steel Magnolias. Yeah.
The stage production of
Into the Woods.
Did you feel like you were held prisoner, captured by her eyes? Were you taken?
Absolutely.
Were you taken by surprise?
Oh man, the song is called "Prisoner," right? Or "Prisoners"? Yeah, that's
Yes. A
We-
prisoner, love theme from the Eyes of Laura Mars.
Could you imagine Barbara in this movie? I could not even imagine what kind of a movie it would be with Barbara. She wisely knew that it would not work.
No. I think it would not be as high gloss. Maybe she'd be like a war photographer or something instead. And she's like pivoting into, she'd be a Red Book photographer instead of Vogue.
yeah. I feel like at the beginning, Laura makes a comment about shooting something a little bit more serious that's not fashion, right? Didn't she say something about?
Yes, she said something about being on the front lines.
Yeah.
And one of the models would be willing to join her in a heartbeat. But she also mentions about how she goes through different phases of her photography.
Yeah.
And this latest phase of portraying violence is what inspires her now.
Right.
This photographer, Laura Mars, is just, she's a household name as a photographer. Like, she could fully go on Carson as fashion photographer Laura Mars, that everybody just knows who they are.
I'd love to see her on Cavett. Like, what would she wear
to
Cavett and just regale him with such great stories of what inspired an ice pick to the face, or pointing a gun at somebody in a swimming pool while wearing lingerie and having a tit just flowing out.
And then who her
artful.
like her other like celebs on the like on her night on Cavett would be like Carol O'Connor and like Desmond Tutu or something like something crazy.
Betty Davis. So you would have
Desi Arnaz Jr. is just sitting next to her.
Yeah, Desi Arnaz Jr. and Betty Davis, and just craziness.
Betty Davis eyes.
Oh man,
with eyes of Laura Mars.
That's getting pretty meta, and I love it. So, are we the audience to understand that these photographs that she does are for her clients' general household appliances, shampoo,
This is something that I was thinking about myself. At the time, you have different photographers portraying controversial images, like Chris von Wagenheim, who shot for Dior and Vogue, showing like a model, Christy Brinkley, I believe, getting attacked by a Doberman. Not really attacked by a Doberman, but her bejeweled bracelet and hand are being gripped by the jaws of a Doberman.
Right.
And then there's other ones where there's a campaign for Dior where it says Dior is explosive and it's a model shooting a handgun. And there's this thread of violence throughout these images, even though they're very glossy and very aspirational in a way.
Yeah.
And Dunaway herself told the LA Times at the time that this film was released, quote, "The world of beautiful people is infused with violence. The perfection of the models is jarred by the reality of a violent world. Laura Mars feels this violence at all levels of society, not just in Times Square, not just with an assassination, but over the dinner table." And these are the kind of campaigns that would appear in Vogue, most likely, and would later probably inspire Tyra Banks to torture young women on Top Model.
I was going to say, this did lead to a lot of Top Model photo shoots.
Yes, including the death photo shoot in Segway.
Yeah. I mean, some of the photo shoots, not the least of which the car on fire.
And are they selling fur coats?
Fur coat
and that
lingerie
one.
This looks like this could be a David LaChapelle photo.
Yeah.
Easy. Right? Just pump up the contrast, and it's LaChapelle, right? I do love that initially is it a release party for her book?
Yes, she's accumulated a collection of work that kind of captures the last 2 years of her advertising and her editorial work that all follows these themes of violence.
I love that at this party for the release of this book, everybody's just like torn on like, this is exploitative and this is disgusting and this is porno and all. And I'm like, it's just a little titty. Like, these are not
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think in this day and age, these pictures are not tame, but they're constantly referred to as, violent, and there's violence in them. And okay, yes, there are guns in them, and maybe we wouldn't have guns in these photographs. That's kind of a bridge too far, as the like handguns everywhere. But I don't know. I think for the most part, they're just kind of like fashion editorial spreads, right?
Yeah, like death, but make it fashion. And I don't know, like domestic abuse, but make it fashion.
No.
Some of these look like.
Yeah.
But she's criticized by both like the downtown art world for being too commercial,
right?
The upper echelon for the vulgarity of the images, and feminists for the depiction of violence against women. Right. So this is kind of her debut into fine art. And there is an interesting thread in this that isn't fully explored is photography actually art? And at this time, this is kind of the debate in that world. And
sure.
I think that that's something that kind of struck me with when images are being called pornography, can you really call them art?
Right. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I guess you have to take into account the time to, you know.
I was also thinking about just kind of using such high concept photography for advertising. I mean, what was the brand of like leggings for women? It's like I'm wearing nothing at all. Just kind of these legs. Legs. Yeah, just kind of these very like cheesy adverts.
Right.
But Laura Mars is just doing a little more rock and roll.
Well, I mean, it's when was Brooke Shields doing Calvin Klein and Nothing Gets Between Me and My Calvins?
1980, 1979,
yeah, 79, maybe? 80, a year or two later. And that's provocative. That's not showing any like actual nudity, but it's very provocative, right? Mm-hmm. And it's those were more like television commercials, but I think those were print ads as well. So yeah. Legs with Joyce DeWitt, the spokesperson for Legs Pantyhose.
Yeah.
Something that strikes me is that at this point, since this is 1978, Faye Dunaway has gone through a decade of consistent work in Hollywood as a leading lady since Bonnie and Clyde, where she's nominated for Best Actress. And then she hits several highs with Chinatown and then eventually wins an Oscar for Best Actress in Network in 1976. Once again, consistently wearing brown in Network, and we love her for it. But she also has other films like Puzzle of a Downfall Child, where she plays a model, and she's directed by her former boyfriend, Jerry Schatzberg. And Faye, at this time, is dating Terry O'Neill, the photographer who shot her for the famous Morning After photograph.
Oh, sure. Yeah. By the pool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she kind of picked up enough by osmosis, it feels like. And apparently Terry O'Neill gave her a Leica to help prep her on vacation in Ireland before this movie started shooting. And she was given $1 million for this movie, which was a lot back then.
Yeah, looking at her IMDb, I mean, she's coming off of a lot of big movies.
Mm-hmm. Towering Inferno.
The Voyage of the Damned was 1976. Network, 1976. 3 Days of the Condor, a movie I've always meant to watch, but I've not gotten to, and that is with Robert Redford.
One of the most stylish movies for a man, I'd say. Robert Redford is impeccable in that movie. And Faye is very soft, and she does what she can with a pretty decorative supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I do wish she was a blonde in this movie.
She's a blonde in Puzzle of a Downfall Child, so that'll be full circle for you.
Okay. If anything, Eyes of Laura Mars is kind of her turning point as an actress, that it's all kind of downhill after the Eyes of Laura Mars.
Yeah. And this really sets the tone for what we can expect in Mommy Dearest. This has the scaffolding of that over the top. Say a line, then say it again with wider eyes and screaming. So overworked. She is. Sometimes she seems like she's in a different film than everybody else, and that's why I love her. She's so otherworldly in these movies.
Yeah, I mean I think it's one of her first scenes in the movie where she is startled in bed, and it's that shot of her bedroom with the mirrors on
this bedroom is insane. I love it.
Crazy, the bed on this like step up like pedestal, the bed, but also, is it even a queen bed? Like you have this fabulous mirrored disco bedroom, genie bottle bedroom, and it's like you have this tiny little
She's living in Mary Tyler Moore's walk-in closet.
Yeah. Clearly. Yeah, her apartment, her studio on like on the pier or whatever, like she's got some taste going on. She's got a lot of really cool stuff. She does drive an AMC Pacer.
It keeps her humble.
Yeah.
She's a gal on the go.
Did you say it's the Wayne's World
it's
car?
Wayne and Garth's car.
Wayne and Garth's car.
It's the Mirthmobile, but just not without the flames painted on the side. She drives an AMC Pacer, and she's driven around in a station wagon.
Yes.
So she's
they
incognito.
have a lot of equipment to bring.
Yeah.
These are the days of analog. You have to bring so many lights. You have to bring a ton of equipment. But at this point, Faye is kind of associated with this sophisticated urban professional woman. And
yes.
she's pigeonholed into that role. And I think after this movie, she is trying her best to kind of pivot that into, I want to play a mother. So after this, she plays a supporting role in The Champ, where she plays John Voight's ex-wife.
Oh, with Ricky Schroeder?
Yes.
Oh,
and
wow.
so that's also before Mommy Dearest, and she's just trying to play less career bitches, essentially.
I mean, she's got a handle on this character, I think.
Yeah, I think she's doing a good job here.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Best Actress year of 1978, and it was pretty. I think this would have been a tough 5 to crack. That I don't know if you could have come close to unseating any of them.
Who do we have that Oscar season? I also kind of want to talk about really quickly while Scott's looking that up, the photo shoot in I think it's in Columbus Circle in New York with the burning cars. She's wearing kind of a disco outfit. She's wearing the skirt with like 2 slits and like a booty, a stiletto booty
that goes right up to her thigh.
Yeah.
A pencil skirt, a taupe blouse with a pussy bow.
Pussy bow, yeah. Yeah.
The Best Actress lineup was Jane Fonda wins for Coming Home, Ingrid Bergman for Autumn Sonata, Ellen Burstyn, Same Time Next Year, Jill Clayburgh, An Unmarried Woman, and Geraldine Page for Woody Allen's Interiors. So this was probably a hard year.
Yeah,
to get that nomination.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
In her memoir, Looking for Gatsby, Faye Dunaway talks about how she turned down Julia around this time. She turned down the part that Jane Fonda had. And then when Jane Fonda was attached, she was apparently approached for the Vanessa Redgrave role, and she still said no. So she then notes that both of them were nominated for Oscars.
Yeah.
So while she was doing this.
But I was reading that this movie was a hit, though. I think it made decent money at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that it was anything. It wasn't a flop, and it wasn't critically reviled, but I think it got rather middling reviews at the time. But I think this and Mahogany are a tremendous double feature.
Oh, but the one thing that I think that Laura Mars gets right, that Mahogany is kind of off in its own world, is I do think the fashion shoots do seem realistic. And Mahogany, it's kind of a parody of, we're going to do a high fashion shoot in the 70s. I think that it seems pretty viable in Laura Mars. I think Faye's really doing this scene like one of the greats of how they film subjects.
Sure.
Yes. Which photo shoot would you rather be in? The poolside photo shoot that is Mediterranean themed, or the furs and lingerie outside of the flaming cars?
And the hair pulling. Not so hard.
I like the one with the male model when she tells him to lay in the fountain. In the fountain.
And
I think that's my favorite.
$100 per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, $100 per hour ain't bad.
Especially in 1978.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to take you far. I like, we were talking about the models, Lulu and Michelle.
Oh, I'm fascinated with these two characters.
Lulu and Michelle are amazing.
I need their own spinoff of their adventures before.
Of them solving mysteries.
before their untimely death. Yeah.
Getting discovered by Eileen Ford.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
making their way in the big city.
Just Lulu and Michelle's answering machine message with each other.
Listen, it's 1978 and they have an answering machine, first of all. So they're doing pretty well for themselves.
That's top model behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, these two are so close that they are entombed together. That they just decided to bury,
to put them in the mausoleum.
Put them in the mausoleum side by side.
And the eulogy by the priest after these two models are untimely, bumped off with an ice pick to the eyeball, is basically the priest has nothing really to say. So he says, I opened my Webster's dictionary to find the definition of what model means.
Yeah.
And that, would you rather have that as a eulogy or in Drop Dead Gorgeous, by American? Like, it was very much that.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I was sad when she, okay, here was my thing too. All right. So I want to go to like the Laura Vision, right? We get the Laura Vision, we get it set up.
It's a little Raven Simone.
It's a little like That's So Raven.
That's So Raven. Yeah.
You know,
gauzy
tunnel vision-esque, right? And the first few times it happens, it's just like she's stunned. She's just stopped in her tracks. But like as it goes on, each time she's able to do a little more and a little more. She was running away, not running downstairs, but still seeing him chase her.
Driving a car.
And I said,
Pete said that as we were watching it.
I said, oh, she's going to get so good at the Laura Vision that she's going to be driving a car and be able to like find her way home. I mean, she crashed through like a building, but you know,
a box factory. She crashed through a box
the
factory.
pillow factory. Yeah. The marshmallow plant. Yeah.
When she hits that building,
that was crazy.
That's crazy.
We were both gagged when she ran into the box factory. Yeah.
Screaming. She's screaming bloody murder throughout this film. Screaming names. And at one point, she's like, she's seeing one of her associates being murdered. And she's running to the scene with this cap on.
Yes.
I love the cap.
And wearing these boots. And she's just stopped dead in a crosswalk in traffic.
Yep. Yeah.
She is then running through traffic like Kelly Ben Simone in Real Housewives of New York City.
No, absolutely. I think when I called that she was going to be driving a car is when she was seeing Lulu and Michelle and their, you know, little scene. And she picked up the phone and dialed the phone. I was like, she called Lulu and Michelle's phone on a rotary phone, while experiencing Laura Vision. Like, you know,
was it the fancy rotary phones that we were talking about?
Oh, in Donald's house. Donald's phone.
It's his house. Okay.
Yeah, that was in Donald's house when she was on the crazy with
my dad had an ex-wife that had a phone like that, and I always loved making calls on it.
Oh, that phone is very Edna's Edibles.
Oh,
it would belong there.
Very Mrs. Garrett coded.
Over our heads.
Yeah. Very Mrs. Garrett coded for sure. But yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. She's learning how to adapt to the Laura Vision. And so I said she's going to drive a car and then who knows what's going to happen. So I can kind of see Carpenter's thought process of like, okay, now it's going to get to this point where she's going to she knows Kung Fu. She's in the Matrix. She's going to just be dodging ice picks.
To beat the killer, she has to become the killer.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Backwards and in high-heeled stiletto scrunch boots.
Suddenly the Coons is me.
Yeah.
Suddenly the Mars is me. Is how the film ends.
See, is Gaga as old Stephanie on the phone trying to get the remake of this one going? She's like, Mia Goth can
I could
suck
see it.
Oh, I would love to watch this movie with Stephanie.
If we couldn't have Streisand, we may as well get Stephanie. Yeah.
Yeah, she could do it. The fashions. That cap though you're talking about the one with the built-in earmuffs?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was great.
Wild.
Yeah.
she's just running amok through this city, trying to have anyone believe her that these visions that she is being struck by, these dark psychic forces, in the words of Marianne Williamson, are like just channeling her.
I mean,
and
she goes straight to the cops, though.
Yeah.
Right. And, well, she does. And then they call her and all of her associates in to be booked. And it's so funny to see them all shot like they're waiting. And it looks as though they got pulled in for solicitation.
Absolutely.
It's the classic scene in the cop station where the toots,
all the hookers
are sitting in a line.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that scene. I thought it was cute.
No, it's a good one. Yeah.
And she and Tommy Lee Jones, who's pretty skeptical of her, begin this tete-a-tete. They begin this discussion about, really, is your art provocative for provocation's sake? What exactly are you doing here? And how does commerce really deal with death to sell things? And they seem to reach an understanding that eventually becomes flirtation and eventually becomes sweeping romance in the midst of this.
This is all the Jon
murder
Peters.
spree.
This is all Jon Peters in the script.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes no sense. However, Irvin Kershner in the commentary seemed to excuse this by saying, there's nothing that brings people to get together closer, probably in a sexual way, than a funeral. For some reason, it's the end of life and it's the beginning of life. They seem to be related. And after funerals, there's usually sex, you find. It's like wanting to hold on to life and wanting to continue life.
Wow.
He said this to both Faye and Tommy, and they're just like, all right, got it.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. They're, as they grow closer and their love blossoms, at one point, he's like, he gives her like a walkie or something, and he's like telling her, this is later on, but he's like, oh, we got him. Like, don't go anywhere. Like, I'm coming to get you. I love you. And you're like, what?
It's so undeserved.
You do? And she's got this walkie, and there's all these people around her, and she's like,
okay.
She's bug-eyed, but for a different reason, man.
Yeah. Crazy. We talked a little bit about her entourage, but the two lead models, Lulu and Michelle. But I do want to go back a little bit to Donald Phelps. This is played by René Auberjonois. Is he like her manager? Like,
I was going to say, what exactly does he do?
Is he her like J
He's
Manuel?
her Mr. J.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
Mr. J.
sure. He's her J Manuel.
The fashion director?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's art directing. He's
art
art
director?
directing the shoots. Okay.
Yeah, he's her personal assistant, a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
handler. There's not a twink handler in this movie. There's a Faye handler.
Yeah.
And he sees her through all her ups and downs, but she seems like she's a good hag to him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he has a birthday celebration, and he unfortunately meets his end dressed as Faye.
That's kind of fierce, though.
Yeah.
That's a good reveal of
It's a good one.
them thinking that they're going to,
Yeah.
like, why are you walking home alone, Laura?
Oh yeah, because
Well,
there's cops. The
She's
cops
suddenly
are tailing
8
She's
her.
being
tall.
trailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. He's very tall. He's very thin, and they're just like, oh, there she is.
I was gagged by that. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah. We have not mentioned. I guess he's not Tommy Lee Jones's partner, but like the other cop, Volpe.
It's a pretty nothing character.
Yeah, but he kind of flies off the handle pretty quickly. Like
He's the bad cop.
he's the bad cop for sure.
There's just so many reaction shots to him entering a scene, seeing that Tommy Lee Jones he's flirting with Laura.
Yeah.
He notices that Tommy Lee Jones is suddenly just not wearing shoes in Laura's apartment, and he has this knowing glance that,
okay.
nice apartment.
Yeah.
It's just really fun and marvelous to see Faye's hysteria against the backdrop of an indifferent city. and no one is willing to pay attention to her screams.
Yeah. But, like we said, like Laura is a good hag to Donald, but Tommy, as played by Brad Dourif, who is one of a couple of red herrings in this movie. I like that she's kind of like, all right, he's got a past. All right, he's got a record. He's got the crazy eyes. He's a little shifty.
She sees the good in him, though.
But yeah, she's like, no, he's my driver. He's cool.
He's always carrying a pack of cards.
Yeah.
The
pack of cards is crazy.
He gets bored in the car.
Yeah. But I do have to say, Scott was mentioning that Donald's whole thing of him being like this like queer character in this world. Yes, it's fashion. It's New York City. But like nobody's really making any sort of a deal about it.
No.
Yeah.
Until I would say.
Oh, this scene's wild.
Well, okay. So he's kind of kicking Tommy out of the party. But he says like, oh, like come, or I don't know if he says come back or something, but he says, have a piece of cake. And Tommy goes, you're a piece of cake.
Slams the door right in his face.
And to which Donald was like, oh, he was a little gagged by that. It was like, and slammed the door in his face. But that was the only time when he was like, you're a piece. Which
if
I guess
he was
is a
a
good
kind
burn.
Of cake, what would he be?
Oh.
What flavor of cake would he be? A princess
cake? Strawberry shortcake?
Yeah.
Oh man. This princess
A
cake
coffee
exists.
cake just because everything's brown.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
I only know Princess Cake from Drag Race.
From Drag Race, yeah.
It's what Delta got.
Yeah. Or I mean he could be Alexis Mateo's New York cheesecake that was very beige.
Yeah.
Very beige.
Beige and pleated.
Yeah. Tufted. Yeah. So yeah, I think this movie does have a lot of red herrings. We were both saying it can't be Brad Dourif.
It can't be Brad Dourif.
It's
It's
too
too obvious.
easy.
Right. And he's the ultimate red herring out of all of them. There's also Raul Julia floating about. There's also Michelle's boyfriend, who's this sharply dressed, handsome man who's like pretty. He comes across as rather abusive to her and possessive. And then at the funeral for the models, because they apparently couldn't afford separate graves, he verbally accosts Laura, saying that she's responsible for their deaths.
You're the killer.
And Laura is then just so bereft with both guilt and just sadness that she then fucks Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. I mean, you get the vapors and
in the woods.
That was crazy.
They're suddenly in the woods.
Yeah.
And then they're suddenly waking up in fur. They're just draped in fur blankets.
As you do.
Yeah.
But okay, so Raul Julia's character was so interesting to me too.
Raul Julia almost like doing this role on a long weekend. He's kind of in and out of this movie.
Apparently, Irvin Kershner ran into him in the lobby of somewhere that they were shooting and said, hey, we need to fill this role.
Do you want to go film a few scenes right now?
Wow.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that there was a lot on the page for many of these roles.
Yeah.
And it felt like this was being rewritten as it was being shot. This does not seem like this was a fully buttoned up production in that way. But, I'm happy with what we get, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does make sense that it probably was. And that probably goes to the length of the movie, because I could easily see this movie being 2 hours plus,
And it also doesn't really have that 70s pace, too, where you can really feel the 2 hours.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It felt so watchable because it is short. It is very kind of condensed because they do really get this shit going quick, It's
interesting that this is released in the late summer of 1978. Halloween comes out in October. So this is kind of the beginning of John Carpenter's career in Hollywood, was selling the script.
Yeah. He seems to have kind of not disavowed this necessarily, but just kind of spoken about how this just wasn't what he envisioned for it. And he wanted more emphasis on the. Apparently, there was more emphasis on the spectacle and the horror of it all.
Yeah.
And this is more tense, giallo-like, just kind of teetering on horror, but not quite horrifying. It's never too bloody. It's never too gory. It's just this kind of romanticization of horror in a way.
Right, because we do get like there's a killer, he's stalking people. He uses an ice pick, usually to the eyeball, but it's always very kind of like, is it stylized? Is it just like a little bit of
super
red?
graphic.
It's not graphic at all.
But make it fashion.
But make it fashion, truly.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing about like, finding this in the horror section, or it being like, it's a thriller, it's suspenseful, but yeah, I think the actual kills and the body count and the blood and all that is stylized or stylish and kind of, I guess, tame.
Yeah, the bodies are intentionally draped across the sets as though they are themselves posing, like languidly, like just across a chaise lounge or a massage table or something on a stairwell, just with an eye missing, and and just want like
little bit of
one
red.
trickle of blood down the cheek, and the real horrifying shots are of Faye Dunaway's eyes.
2 characters are shot in this movie, and I don't think either of them have any blood on them.
No.
Immediately afterwards, one of which is at point blank range to the gut. Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, we're gonna have to kind of spill the beans on what happens at the end of this movie. But
do you think that they knew what the reveal was going to be as they were making it? Do you think that they knew it was going to be who it ended up being as they were filming it?
I think so. I think that there was an inevitability that it was always going to be Mr. Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Even the back of the novelization only emphasizes those 2 characters, saying her eyes see everything, love, death, destiny. Her eyes are the psychic connection between life and death. And then it goes into a description of both of their characters. So it really does show that this connection that they have, that the star-crossed lovers in a way, have more psychic involvement than we really are aware of.
Okay.
She does this trick in her studio when he's trying to rescue her, to show him exactly what she sees when the killer is on the prowl. She hooks up a camcorder to a television, and that shot is so impressive to me, of just the way that they're able to show her in like multiple frames within the same frame.
Yeah.
And the ending, though, the whole ruse of the psychic connection breaks at the end, because she can't see through the eyes of the killer anymore, because when he's standing right in front of her.
yeah,
He's also being weird in that scene where she hooks up the camera and she asks him to stand there.
yeah.
That he doesn't want to do it. At first,
No,
he
he's-
says that he's going to do it, and then once it starts happening, he's like, "I don't want to do this anymore."
Right.
Yeah. I think that there's a couple of really cool kind of like innovative things being done too, especially like the first time. Well, okay, it's when she's in her studio on the pier or whatever, and she gets like the Laura vision. She's like, "Oh shit, I can see it," and then it's like it's there. And then when you finally realize as she's like running away and you see it's her back, you're like, oh, I was like, oh shit. It's her. She's seeing herself. That I really was like, oh, holy cow, that's cool. Right. And then, yeah, the whole thing with the camcorder, and she's just like, see that there in the TV? Like, that's what I'm seeing. Right. Like, oh, okay. That's a cool like way of putting it all together. But, yeah, I guess with Tommy, it's interesting when he's kind of like, okay. Also, when he fucking bursts through that damn window.
Oh my God! Do you think that they got a double for that?
I hope so.
You know, they probably only had one take.
Yeah,
I gasped on the couch when that scene happened.
What?
And he's not bloodied.
No,
he's not bloodied
Fine.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's not nary a shard of
scratch.
glass on that carpet. And right before that, there's this kind of fake out of Raul Julia being the last one standing.
Right.
And it's, oh no, is Tommy Lee going to get ice picked to the head in the elevator? And then once you see that he's the one who's left, you're kind of just left knowing, oh, he's definitely nutso.
I think as a movie watcher, it would be underwhelming if it was Raul Julia because he's barely in the movie.
Because we're not really that we're not
invested.
We're not that invested with him.
Yeah.
No.
And again, Brad's too easy, so couldn't
That would be very giallo though, to have a character that is maybe in one scene.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they take their contacts out or something. Yeah. And then, oh no, he could see all along. This had so much to do with the eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my
God. It was an eye doctor, actually.
It was an ophthalmologist.
Yes.
I did also very much like as a character beat for Laura when he's like, oh, we got him. Right. We got him. It was what's his character's name? It was Brad, it was Tommy. We got him. Don't worry. And he starts going into like this sad, lurid backstory of like his mother was a sex worker and she left him for days on end and all this stuff. And she's like, that's not Tommy's story.
Yeah.
No.
And she's like, yeah, he's my driver and he's kind of a scumbag, but I fucking know his life. Like I talked to, you know what I mean? So kind of to me, that gave me a little bit of like, she knows him. She talks to him. She's friends with him. I was like,
she does have
like
eyes for the people that surround her.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. I love it.
And it also kind of shows how, like, it's revealed that Tommy Lee Jones has like split personalities in a way. Like there's one side of him that's this soft, gentle giant who's like a stalwart of the law. And then there is this maniacal figure who's trying to terrorize this woman who he thinks is not worth a damn due to her controversial art. But he underestimates her in that scene. He doesn't think she actually knows who works with her, who her echelon was. He just sees them as like hangers on, when in reality they were her friends.
Yeah.
But although the one homegirl, Elaine, was fucking Laura's ex-husband, and unbeknownst to Laura, this was some summer house shit happening.
I mean, that was a gag where she was just like, oh, all right.
I feel like split personalities were really big in the 70s. Is this like Sybil, the TV movie where I think that probably came out in like 76?
Yeah, I think so, probably. And like split personality, like disorder.
It's all been debunked.
It's not a thing anymore.
This film, if it were remade, Stephanie would definitely be somebody I could see. I think you'd need to choose somebody as the investigator who would not be as obvious as a Tommy Lee Jones. I don't know, like a Jonathan Bailey type. Like that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Full musical.
But just don't make Jonathan Bailey René.
Auberjonois. No, he can't. No, he can't be. Can't be the Donald character.
No,
I can't. That's going to be Coleman Domingo
unceremoniously killed. That would be great.
As her
Mr. J.
Yeah, her Mr. J. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think the fact that Tommy Lee Jones is so kind of like brooding and just angry at her, even when they're supposed to be developing this love story, I'm like, to me, I was a little bit like, oh, okay, I thought he still kind of hated her.
Do you almost think that they're mismatched
A little.
together?
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, okay, if his one personality is just like you said, she's vulgar, this is crass, this is, glorifying, whatever his reasoning is, his ultimate goal is to ice pick her in the eyes, and but he's picking off everybody around her to get back
to
at her,
get to her.
get to her. Yeah,
I think. But the murders have been occurring for a couple years, and it's explained that she started seeing these visions a few years ago that have now influenced her work. It's just, I guess, the psychic connection was just not as strong, is what we're meant to assume.
Yeah. They were just images then, but now it's the full seeing through his eyes.
Primetime live.
Yeah.
And at the end, he tearfully requests her to kill him, and she refuses, and then he cocks the gun for her, the gun that he gave her that she hid in her bureau.
It's a pretty fierce gun too.
Yes,
her lady
it's
pistol.
like a pearl handle. Yes, it's a lady gun.
It's kind of cunt.
Then she shoots him point blank, and she becomes her own art. The shot itself is one of her photographs.
And
you're right.
Ultimately, kind of what we don't see when the movie ends. Do you think that she's going to be the one that's on trial for murder at the end of the story?
I think probably you could find that Tommy Lee Jones definitely had a hand in any of these. Like, I don't know, the card that they found at Brad Dourif's in the elevator wasn't actually from his deck. It was from one that Tommy got or something.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Perhaps you could find, like, there's just too many connections, I guess. But he was kind of her alibi for a lot of the movie whenever these murders were happening. They were too
also
busy.
True. Yeah, canoodling.
But I don't know. If you're one of the models who are kind of the extras on this set, I guess you kind of get bumped up in the agency now. Now that Lulu and Michelle are gone, who becomes Laura's muse?
That's true. I don't know. Maybe this is the end of her violence phase, though.
I think that is the case. She decides to shoot still lives.
Yeah.
Do you think that's probably what a scene that probably should have ended this movie is kind of cut to months later, her next, like,
she's shooting landscapes
gallery.
Yeah. She's Ansel Adams.
Yeah.
She's like, I realized that the only way I can protect myself is by being alone in these barren landscapes.
Yeah.
Much like my chic apartment, where if you lean over anything, it will shatter and break upon impact.
Oh, man. Shooting in that bedroom with all those angled mirrors was probably a bitch to hide the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was later a fashion editorial that Linda Evangelista starred in. That was basically just Eyes of Laura Mars. It is exquisite. So art imitating life, imitating art.
Yeah. I do love in, a lot of the shoots, I mean, especially the Cars on Fire.
That Cars on Fire scene, I mean, could you imagine them blocking off this street in New York now? So this is shot in Columbus Circle, and they shot the scene over a period of 4 days. They had this location.
And apparently, like, the New York Post or Page 6 at the time was, boots on the ground. And they must have seen Faye, having one of the visions, the Laura visions.
Yeah.
And they suspected that she was temperamental walking off of the photo shoot, when reality, she was just so convincing, she writes in her memoir.
Oh my gosh. I love it. But, like, I love that they're in lingerie, which is, very, very sexy, very revealing. But it's also that 70s kind of like Vanity 6 lingerie that's like full back panties. It's very, for being lingerie, it's very covered up.
But there's never any support.
Also true. Yeah, no. They're all bralettes. There's no wires. It's all very flimsy,
And then on another
satins.
shoot, everybody just has one tit hanging out.
Yeah.
Just tasteful.
Tasteful, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
We also did appreciate, I think it's Lulu walking around in the little braids so that afterwards she could have crimped hair.
I think that I had the
shoot.
moment of, that's how they get the crimped hair. Of that, if they didn't have like a crimping iron.
Yeah. Like the inventor of the crimping iron hadn't unleashed his genius upon the world yet. You had to just do these like tight braids. Because we were like, we didn't say anything, but I think we were both thinking like, oh, okay, she's gonna have. Is she giving a little 10 Bo Derek? She giving a little Bo Derek?
Bo Derek, yeah.
But no, in the actual shoot, she's got this big frizzy crimped, coif happening. So that was very chic of her. But these shoots are all wild, but definitely we can see the inspiration that would become top model episodes down the line.
Oh yes. And for Faye, where does this fall in her filmography? Where does she see this?
Right.
I think she wrote in her book, quote, "You get to the point in your career where you don't really work for any outside requirement. It's just really a matter of what avenues of experience you want to go down and what are the most promising and interesting of those you come upon." Cool girl. This was an excuse to wear great clothes, beautiful clothes, to have your hair be auburn and to really work on your volume just in time to beat a child with a wire hanger.
Yeah. I mean, oh man. Yeah, I don't know, maybe there's something to Faye just seeing like, okay, this is a woman who's kind of in charge. She's like, she's almost like a movie director, right? She's directing these photo shoots. She's just a lady in charge of business.
I can see if you were pitched this idea or you read the early versions of the script that you would be down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the ending does need the big chase scene. What he was, what Carpenter was saying of like the big climax is that she's outwitting the the killer as she's seeing these visions.
There is a certain point after she and Tommy Lee Jones get together that her dialogue kind of just becomes, "Oh, I'm concerned for you. Go get them. And I love you," that sort of thing. At the end of the movie, she's the only things that she says to escape from his grasp is just hugging him and saying, "I love you." And that causes him to break out of his psychotic hold, I guess.
Yeah.
But it ends on a whimper. Like, it's not as thrilling as it could be at the end. Like, there's no... I don't think that reaction that she had is her outwitting him. It's more of a I'm willing to just embrace you in this moment of vulnerability. Whereas you kill me.
Well, I guess that Laurie Strode as a character ends up getting all of that in Halloween that comes out in 1978. So I guess that Carpenter does have his horror heroine.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what is a true slasher, which this is kind of like leaning towards, but not quite. Like,
imagine if there was a sequel. Like, the sequel would be like she and Richard Gere take on Hollywood, and she becomes his madam. Actually, it becomes Beverly Hills Madam.
Yeah.
but yet she's
Gigolo.
She's fighting crime on the side that she's catching these serial killers.
Yeah.
Yes, it becomes Medium.
There you
Yeah.
go.
She's Alison Dubois.
See, I like Laura Mars moves to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Right.
And then she just lives at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yes.
And it just lazes about the pool.
There is, and then there's also like, I mean, I guess that the Night Stalker would be the later half of the 80s, but she's gonna have to uncover the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
Is she going to be the one that, like, are we gonna do the Ryan Murphy thing and just write in Richard Ramirez as a character?
Or, to keep it connected to fashion, the third movie, she finds Andrew Cunanan.
Oh my god!
She
stops
finds Versace's killer.
Oh my god! She stop? Alternate reality. She stops Gianni Versace from being killed.
Yes.
I like Laura Mars, crime fighter, fashion crime fighter.
Are there
this could have been a cinematic universe.
Yeah. Are there any Laura Mars references in any of the American Horror Story seasons?
I don't think so.
Did they do this in like the New York season at all?
No.
I mean, there's a photographer involved, but I think he's more influenced by Robert Mapplethorpe than anything else. Yeah. But I think maybe like Hotel kind of alludes to that. This and The Hunger, especially, that really cribs The Hunger. This, I think some people say that Malignant, which came out a few years ago, is pretty similar to this.
I can see that.
Of
sure.
Seeing acts of violence take place. And then there was supposedly going to be some sort of remake in like 2009 or so. And this is all from internet conjecture that I've seen in like different articles that were written. But apparently a director named Chris Fisher was attached to remake it based on Carpenter's original script, but it never really materialized. And I think you could just call that Eyes at this point. If this got rebooted, just shorten it to Eyes. Although, wasn't there a Jessica Alba film called The Eye?
The Eye, yeah.
The Eye, singular.
And she is blind, and I think that she gets a surgery that she can see, and she starts to see dead people.
Okay. There's a lot of fascination with
I'm
Eyes.
also confusing that with Awake with Hayden Christensen, too.
Oh, boy.
Those late 2000s thrillers.
Yeah.
That nobody remembers but us.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But this could be rife with opportunity for someone to really adapt and update it for today's sensibilities, I think. It would be influencers, probably. Kendall Jenner would be a Lulu or a Michelle. Or Maddie Healy's girlfriend, something like that, you know?
Oh, boy. There might be some applause when they get offed. In that version.
Kaya Gerber sleepwalks her way through this.
Listen, Kaya's getting more credits under her belt than Cindy at this point. If she keeps up this pace, she's getting more acting credits than Cindy. So,
but yeah, it's a tight, stylish little thriller.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty
I think
fun.
it's one of the closest to an American giallo, along with like Cruising, that I can really think of.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Cruising would be out in like 1980, 1981. Yeah.
Wow. No, this was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, I think, like you said, very tight. I liked it. Easy. Goes down easy. And Faye is, I mean, yeah.
What else do I have in my notes? I have Brad Dourif in this driving hat as a mood.
Oh, the driving hat, yeah.
The driving cap.
But just the full leather jacket and like jeans, but with the driving cap. Loved it.
We didn't really talk about disco noir, but I think that was a big thing at this time.
Yeah, this
I
soundtrack.
remember reading about disco noir when we finally tracked down Looking for Mr. Goodbar.
Sure.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, the soundtrack is so full of these disco needle drops that we were saying, if this was a contemporary movie set in the 70s, I'd be like, all right, calm down. Take it easy with the disco songs. But they're all here and it's contemporary and it works.
Yeah. I almost thought, I was like, was this sponsored by like Casablanca Records or something. Like, is this a thank God it's Friday? Like,
Yeah.
just a ploy to get everybody on this one soundtrack. But thank God Barbra recorded that theme, because I think that arguably the song may be more famous than the movie is.
Good old
Because it was almost immediately on volume 2 of her greatest hits. And I think people would remember that ballad. And we need more love themes from horror movies again.
Love theme from Laura Mars. Yeah,
I wonder if Barbra would sit in on the edit and give Jon Peters some notes. I hope so.
She's Faye's worst takes.
Oh, man. All right, well,
I think that about does it.
We
So
wrapped it up.
I did want to discuss 2 subjects with you. One of them being the Cycle 6 reunion that Joni just posted. Have you seen these pictures?
I have not.
Yeah.
I have not. I'll have to look them up now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are
the girls have reunited, but without Danny and Jade. And I think that there's a few more that didn't do it.
Yeah, a few early boots, I believe. Carrie, Gina, Kathy. On a bonus episode, we previously discussed the gift that is Cycle 6 of America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
And we're now 20 years removed from that airing.
Crazy.
Wow.
And the majority of the women reunited this last week in New York, and they are all stunning. It
was Ferranda's
they
birthday.
Survived Top Model.
Yep.
Yes, Ferranda.
Molly Sue. Oh.
It really does. Like, it makes me think perhaps the trauma of that season in particular was worth it.
Yeah.
The dental mishaps, the sisterhood that came out of that potentially was worthwhile.
Yeah. Is that Nena? I see.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She apparently flew in from France.
Oh, goodness.
Or Italy. But yeah, everybody looks great. Everybody looks healthy and fabulous. And it's just nice to see people that were not fully corrupted by reality TV.
Yeah.
I think I looked up Molly Sue's Instagram when we were talking about it on the episode. And I did notice that she was looking great. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for them.
The other thing that we need to discuss briefly before we let you go, the Practical Magic 2 trailer. Did you watch it?
I did indeed. Mm-hmm. Yes.
They really broke out the Fonda 5000 camera when they photographed that one.
Oh, the soft, like, gauziness. It's Laura Vision in that trailer. I'm just happy another generation of moviegoers will yearn to rebuild the house from Practical Magic in The Sims. So.
I loved the kind of minor key lime in the coconut spooky version. That was great. Yeah,
it kind of looks from the trailer that we're going to get flashbacks for the ants, and that's in the books, I think.
I fear based on what we're seeing, one of them Virginia Woolf's herself.
Uh-oh.
And I feel like we're not going to leave with both of the ants at the end of the movie, based on the trailer that I watched.
Which one do you think it is?
Stockard Channing.
Okay.
Yeah, she loves to, First Wives Club herself.
Oh, no.
Like in the opening act.
Yeah.
But we will see. I hold out hope. Lee Pace looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great that Nicole and Sandra have come together. They look stunning.
Yeah.
And they have a more handsome male lead. So
hey, I remember Aidan Quinn doing it for me when I was 13 years old.
Those eyes.
Those eyes.
Those baby blues.
I believe he also starred alongside Faye Dunaway in The Handmaid's Tale film adaptation with Natasha Richardson.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. See? Full circle.
All roads lead back to Dunaway.
Full circle. Wow, I love it.
I mean, it's too bad that Faye Dunaway is just such a pain in the ass that it's just kind of cost her work. Because, I mean, I would love to see somebody like Faye working until the day that she dies.
And I think she would like that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I was thrilled when I saw her in like a fashion campaign a few years ago, and I was like, okay, we're finally out of the Oscars stink of announcing La La Land instead of Moonlight. We're finally back in the good graces of the public. And then she got fired from a one-woman show. And then her documentary was fine, but it wasn't as in the weeds as I would have liked it to be, you know? And I don't think you can really do that when the subject's still alive.
True.
So,
Oh, I bet that Faye reveled in all of that attention during the whole La La Land and Moonlight thing. I think that she loved it.
she looks great. You know, I would love to see her like cast, like Madonna should cast her in a music video. That would eat.
Okay.
I don't know what
Yeah.
she'd do for Confessions too. It would be a Laura Mars inspired.
There you
This
go.
is how we do this.
you
It's a Laura Mars inspired music video, and Faye is photographing Murder on the Dance Floor.
You showed me that Tom Petty video with Faye Dunaway that
Oh,
I had
yes.
never seen.
There, what is it called? It is called, there's a Tom Petty and the Harper, or it's just Tom Petty, song from the early 90s.
Into the Great Wide Open.
It's called Into the Great Wide Open. And the video, okay, the song tells a story about this character that he becomes a famous rock star, and it's Johnny Depp, right, in the video. And Faye plays his manager, but kind of like a fairy godmother type character. And as he gets bigger and bigger, she is along for the ride, but he ultimately fires her. And she has this really cool moment where she's like out in the rain, and she like raises her cigarette up into the sky, and lightning strikes behind her. And it's like, it's so cool.
Wow.
And Into the Great Wide Open was a moment in 1991.
And isn't there didn't you say it's a whole story of that production stopped on Don Juan DeMarco and they just ended up making this music video?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think
Maybe we read
I think
that.
that's what the story is.
Okay.
That they were making that movie and they had to take a big break with filming.
Sure.
She also did Arizona Dream with him, which famously shot near where I grew up. So I'm happy to say that I have walked the same sands that Faye Dunaway has. Last time I was in Los Angeles, I took a photo of myself outside of her former home because, you know, these are hallowed
As you do,
spaces.
yeah.
We don't have a good Faye Dunaway story. I think that I've talked to people that have had a lot of them, especially if you work in the service industry
Yeah.
in LA, that you sometimes might have a run-in with Faye.
Yeah.
But
Drew Droege told his Faye Dunaway story
told
on
his-
our show.
His Faye story on our.
Yeah.
I think that was on his first. I think that was on our Grease 2 episode.
Yeah, I think it was.
And Michelle Pfeiffer's back, so
I mean,
really give that another listen.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, boy.
All right. Well, I think that about does it. Garrett, thank you so much for joining us for Eyes of Laura Mars. I'm so glad we finally got to this movie.
Thank you so much for having me. And if you ever need another top model correspondence, let me know.
I mean, if Cycle 26 ever happens.
Oh, I'm counting down the days. I can't wait for that press release to hit the stands. I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be a consulting producer and make sure it's just as bad as it always was.
Yeah. And we're still waiting for our like home kit of the hot smice cream.
Sure.
I'm sure that travels well.
Oh, absolutely.
Planning our trip to Sydney
Oh,
just so we
boy.
can go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I am holding out, it's going to show up at Hollywood and Highland.
It has to. Pop-up shop at least. Bare mins.
Do it for her hometown,
Yeah.
at least.
Yes. Our hometown hero, Tyra Banks.
Yes.
All right, Garrett. Thank you so much for coming on the show once again. And anytime, you're always welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Ciao.
Listeners, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more show. All right, listeners, welcome back. Big thank you once again to Garrett.
Yeah, go check out his episode where we talk about America's Next Top Model. It's on our Patreon.
Yes,
It's one of my
indeed.
favorites that we've done.
Yes, is it the $5 level?
Yeah.
Right?
It's for TV shows
It's
that keep us
TV
gay.
shows that
I
keep
think
us
it was
gay, but it's a lot of fun.
last September's episode.
Yeah, big thanks to Garrett for coming back on and for bringing Eyes of Laura Mars to the show. Lots of fun. But right now, I think it's time for a trip back.
For the weekly rewind.
Weekly rewind. What have we been watching?
It's probably going to be a pretty short
Yeah.
weekly rewind this week. We've been pretty
both been
busy,
super busy.
with work.
Yeah, I've been
We're
closing
about
a
to
lot.
Go out of town, so I'm working
Yeah.
a 7-day stretch.
Yeah, I'm on a 6-day.
But so whenever you're working, I always try to watch a movie that I have not seen.
Yeah.
And I think that we were out with friends on my birthday, and the movie Quiz Show came up from 1994, directed by Robert Redford. So I bought Quiz Show for $4.99, and I watched it a couple days ago.
All right.
So Quiz Show, it is a fascinating story
Yeah,
that is
it is.
still kind of timely because these are things today when producing TV that you cannot fix a game show
Right.
for somebody to win. I was thinking a lot about Drag Race, of like what kind of discussions do the events of this movie, how is it in relation to shows that we watch?
Right.
Like Drag Race,
Right.
about fixing a reality show for somebody to win. But the big thing about Quiz Show is that whole real life game show, it was called 21.
Right.
He actually knew the answers, that they wanted this guy to keep winning
Yeah.
because he was a good-looking rich.
Were they feeding him the answers?
They were feeding him the answers.
Sure.
That he was from a notable family in America. He was good-looking,
Yeah.
and he was just getting the ratings.
And is Ray Fiennes is playing this character?
And it's 94 Ray Fiennes,
I mean,
which I'm
get
like,
outta
get
here.
the fuck out of here.
Get out of here with that face.
But so I watched Quiz Show. Fascinating story. I think the movie is a little dry. I could see if I was younger watching this movie, maybe responding to it a little more, just because it made me feel smart. That this is kind of this is a fascinating real life story,
a little highbrow. But yeah,
but easily accessible.
Yeah. But not just Drag Race, too. We're watching a lot of these elimination-based reality shows, these gamer shows now.
Yeah.
With the traders and with, House of Villains. But House of Villains is pretty much a Big Brother clone, and Survivor and all that stuff. And there's a lot of talk within the Drag Race fandom about, riggery and
Fixing a
rigomoris
season for
and-
somebody to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always get, going back to the one that our buddy was on about the movie
Face Off.
makeup, Face Off.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the producers have it all planned out. They know who's going home, in what order, la, la, la. It's like, okay, but yeah, that's fixing the show. So it's very interesting kind of like deep dive on that.
Yeah, I think that I saw some. I think it was a clickbaity.
Yeah.
Some of the quotes were probably fake, but it was talking about Bosco and the chocolate. It's chocolate.
It's chocolate.
And
Right?
Bosco
We all- yeah.
claims that there was lawyers present on set and that it was not fixed. I think some of these quotes may have been fake about that. But the article that I was reading sort of alluded to the events of Quiz Show. That's why I was on my mind this week of when I was reading that about Bosco.
Sure.
Because
that's so easy for us to be like, sure, they picked this bar of chocolate and they've all had the same bar of chocolate for how long?
It does make me kind of think that maybe that these producers do have to kind of cover their ass with stuff like that still because of the events of what took place on 21 in the 60s.
Yeah.
But Quiz Show, I finally got around to it.
Yeah, good.
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Sure. Okay, fair. Fair.
We mentioned at the top of the show, but we just rewatched Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, indeed.
I feel like we hadn't watched...
Irvin Kershner, old Kersh.
We haven't watched any of the original trilogy in a while.
Trilogy in a minute, and we are big movie rewatchers, as you all know, listeners, and obviously big Star Wars fans. but we haven't hit a Star War in a minute. And Empire is a lot of fun.
Empire looks incredible.
I mean, well, we have 4Ks of all of them, so we're watching all of them in these 4K.
But you say that Empire,
Physical.
they did the least amount of tinkering with for the special editions.
It's the least amount of time. It's the least like minute wise. Like New Hope is the longest amount. If you break it down to like there's 9 minutes of additional footage in A New Hope. Empire has the least amount of new footage in it.
It's a lot of stuff on Cloud City, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of that's mostly it, really. Stuff on Cloud City. Background extensions.
Oh, they did
Cutting out walls.
They put in the shot. Well, didn't they actually go in the studio and do it? Is of the abominable snowman?
Yes,
I mean,
did.
you know what that character. I mean, it's the Yeti.
The Yeti.
What's the Star Wars name for
The
that?
Star Wars Yeti is called a Wampa.
So you get those shots of the Wampa.
Yeah, there's a full Wampa
Yeah.
suit. In the original pre-special edition, it's just like an arm, like walking, kind of like swinging back and forth to make it look like it's walking. And then you get the arm, the hand coming in to swipe at Luke's face. And I think a head, a face.
So it's not done like Monty Python and the Holy Grail with like the monkey hand.
No.
Yeah.
But in this one, they've got like a full guy in a suit and like, you know, all this, there's more stuff going on. It looks good. But yeah, I mean, it's Empire Strikes Back. What can you say? It's fucking great. It's fucking great.
Directed
and these 4Ks
by,
look good. Irvin Kershner. Good old Kersh.
Now, wasn't he an instructor at
USC.
USC?
Yeah.
And that's sort of why they got him to direct Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't listened to the commentaries in a
think
long
that's how the
time,
story
but I
goes.
think that's how
Yeah.
the story goes, and it's all on Empire of Dreams and all that stuff. But yeah, we die every time Yoda comes on screen.
Oh, I
That
love
little tiny
Yoda.
Yoda.
From Empire Strikes
Yoda
Back.
in Empire Strikes Back.
That
is
shot
so
of him digging through
good.
Luke's bag. There's just something about that puppet
Yeah.
that is just so fucking cool.
And there's some really, really good shit where he's like, his little hand is like grasping on the table, like and then he grabs his little stick, but they cut away before he actually
Sure.
gets it in his hand.
Is it the stick that he has when he's
to
when
beat
he's
up R2?
hitting R2 with it? Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Really great.
I mean, we're gonna go see it, but I don't know about this Mandalorian movie.
Oh, you stop.
I don't know. I don't want to be the hater. I don't want to be the one. Okay, so
You're not here for Buff.
okay, so
Buff Jabba the Hutt.
how do you feel
It's Rota.
about this type of movie playing to a wider audience that is not completely on board, caught up, remembers all of
3
the
seasons of The Mandalorian.
3 seasons of the Mandalorian show? We get the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there might be other references in it. I hope that it's somewhat of a story that is easy to follow if you just wandered into the movie theater.
All these YouTubers are like, it's going to tie up all the shows and Ahsoka. And I'm like, girl, how?
I kind of wanted it just to be a standalone adventure.
Yeah.
That's easy to follow.
I mean, I think it's just going to be season 4 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I think Disney Plus was like, all right,
I think
all right, you guys had your fun.
I think the idea was always a movie,
Yeah.
too.
I think they were like, you guys had your fun. This shit's really expensive. Diminishing returns. So much like Heartstopper season 4, this is going to be your final bow.
Yeah.
You're going to get a movie. That's all you're going to get. And so whatever was going to be, see, this is all we're going to get. So maybe there's going to be stuff in there for Ahsoka. I don't think we're going to get a lot of General Thrawn and Ezra Bridger and all that stuff. I hope not. That's going to be too much. And we're just going to get some cool, maybe some Luke Skywalker stuff. You know, maybe will Grogu speak at the end? Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. I think it could be cool.
Is it June?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
To be honest, I don't know.
I thought
I'm bad at
I
stuff.
thought that Spider-Man was coming out in December. It's July.
Spider-Man is coming out soon. Yeah. But yeah. Star Wars. Watch it anytime, any day.
Legend just turned 40 this week. Legends United States release just had its 40th, so I watched the director's cut the other day.
Ridley Scott's Legend from 1980.
Well, it was released in the UK in 1985, and it didn't have its States release until April of 86.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But yeah.
That's why Tommy looks so young in that movie. Okay.
And I was kind of looking at Tommy's teeth, and I think that he is in the middle of getting them capped. Because when you look at The Outsiders, his two front teeth are more jacked up.
Yeah. Like angled. They're not like crooked. They're like
I think
they're not flat. They're
he
like
still
that.
has kind of a little snaggle tooth, which I also love. Tom with fucked up teeth. Yeah. I think he's adorable.
Yeah, he looks great in this movie. And it's a Blu-ray of that. It's not even a 4K of Legend, Arrow. But it also looks amazing.
The Arrow edition.
Yeah, yeah, love it. Legend is such a crazy movie.
I love Legend.
So crazy.
I love it.
I can't imagine moviegoers in 1985.
It's the GOAT of the 80s fantasy movies.
Yeah, crazy.
It's my ride or die.
Yeah, we love it. But yeah, we haven't been doing that much movie watching this week because I get home at 10:15. You got to go to bed in 45 minutes. So.
But you know what we're seeing in a few days? We're going to Michael.
Hee. We're going to go see
this movie's going to be such a fucking mess. I can't wait. I did say we're going to be at this stupid movie opening night.
And we are.
And we are. But yeah, we'll probably save that for next week.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about it soon. But I think right now it's time.
Oh, for the Patreon shout-outs?
I think it's time for some Patreon shout-outs. We want to say a great big hello and thank you to all of our wonderful active patrons. Any new ones? We've got Dana, Casey, Lisa, Jonathan, and Jonathan. There are 2 in a row. Teresa, Robbie, Ricky, Callum, Chava, Kitsch Barbie Clubhouse, Ronnie, Matt, Carla, Megan, Andrew, Stephen, SB, Brian, Deja, Amy, Erica, Anna, our friends at Header Drew Podcast, Andy, Kate, Roberto, Daisy, Kelly, Chrissy, Laura, Thomas, Lori, Brenna, Lawrence, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Millie, Benny, Melanie, Susan, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Josh, Aaron, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and Rufino. You guys, thank you so much for being patrons.
Join the Movies That Made Us Gay patron at patreon.com/movies that made us gay and get awesome bonus content. We have 3 levels of tiers from a thoughtful donation at the $1 level. At the $5 level, you'll get the TV shows that keep us gay, where we pick a TV show every month and talk about it. At the top $10 level, you will get our Watch With Us commentaries, where you can watch a movie along with us, and it works as its own bonus episode. Join today, and you'll also get a little shout-out on the weekly episode.
Yes, indeed. We'd also love it if you would follow us on your podcast listening app. If you have an iPad or an iPhone, Apple Podcasts is built in. Find us there by searching Movies That Made Us Gay and go ahead and give us a follow. You'll get notified when new episodes drop, and you'll be able to give us a 5-star rating, which please do, and leave us a review. We need a new review over on Apple Podcasts, so do that and we'll read it on an upcoming episode. Follow our socials. We're most active on Instagram, where we are at Movies That Made Us Gay. And you can follow our personals. I'm at Peter Lasagna on Instagram.
And I'm Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my letterbox.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.